It's funny that some of the things that you wish for or you want the most turn out to be very different than you imagine. Like being president, right? You got months and months of campaigning, there's tens of millions of dollars spent on television and advertising, town hall meetings, conventions, finally the election, and then there's that moment where you just realize, holy shit, I actually did it. I'm the president of the United States of America. Now, I don't think that our new president, Barack Obama, has had that oh shit moment yet. It feels to me like he's still on the campaign trail, right? Everything is a photo op or a press spin. The other day, he wants to have a meeting with the vice president, right? So they go to a hamburger joint, just a couple of regular guys having lunch and talking business. I'm sorry, if you need a heavily armored motorcade, a dozen Secret Service agents, and a SWAT team to lock down the restaurant, you're not a regular guy anymore. You're the freaking president. Time to put your big boy pants on and act like it. But the press loves this guy. He's more of a celebrity than a president. Sometimes the way the press fawns over him is almost embarrassing. I read a news article and I don't know whether I'm reading the news or reading a cheap romance novel. Barack emerged from the pounding Hawaiian surf. Sunlight and seawater glistening off his chiseled pecs. Michelle took the president in her well-sculpted muscular arms, her exquisitely defined triceps trembling against his caramel skin. In other news, beleaguered auto giant General Motors announced the closing of 1,100 dealerships. And Michelle caught a little flack a few weeks ago because she wore $500 sneakers on a visit to a homeless shelter. $500 for sneakers. Really? And I don't know if you guys have seen these sneakers, but they were ugly as hell. They were the kind of ugly that is so ugly it has to be expensive so people think that it's fashionable. Now, I really don't get offended that the First Lady wore $500 sneakers to feed the homeless. I get offended that the First Lady wore sneakers that looked like she got them from the homeless. Then, of course, they had that whole flap with Air Force One over New York City. I don't know who came up with this genius idea that we're going to secretly fly a jumbo jet at low level over New York City in the middle of the day, followed by 2 fighter jets. Really? Like nobody's going to notice that one. You can just imagine the pilot coming over the intercom. From the cockpit, this is Colonel Race Torrington. We're currently cruising at 3,000 feet. If you look to the left, you'll see the Statue of Liberty. And we're coming up on Manhattan Island. Don't be alarmed by the thousands of people running in the streets. The White House informs us they're not panicked New Yorkers. They are merely Chrysler investors trying to get their money out before the government takes over the company. We hope you had a nice flight, and thank you for flying Air Force One. The airlines always thank you for flying with them, right? Ticket agent thanks you, the gate agent thanks you, the stewardesses, or flight attendants, I guess, thank you when you get on the plane and when you get off. The captain thanks you like 6 times, but they don't mean it. Airlines don't like their passengers. You're not passengers or guests to them. You're self-loading freight. And the airlines really wish that they could treat us like that. They could just pack us all into those big aluminum canisters and load us into the bottom of the airplane with a forklift. That would really make them happy. I mean, has anybody been on a flight lately? Anybody been traveling lately? Yep. My last trip was a freaking disaster. I'm walking through that cattle pen trying to get up to security, right? You know, you're weaving back and forth. Of course, it doesn't happen this fast. It's kind of like time lapse, right? I'm stripped down to my boxers. I'm chugging down the last of my Starbucks. God forbid that I set off the metal detector or try to bring a liquid through. And then I'm going to get pulled out of the line by some TSA agent with hands the size of catcher's mitts. I finally get up to the front of the line, and I have to wait while they pull out for screening a 95-year-old woman in a wheelchair. This grandmother was so frail, 3 TSA agents had to help her over behind the screen. And I'm just thinking, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. If Granny wants to start some shit on the plane, I'm pretty sure that I could take her. She's not the one that I'm worried about. I get through security, I'm sitting in the lounge, an hour and a half in an overcrowded terminal. I'm sitting on a chair that feels like it was designed during the Spanish Inquisition, next to some blowhard in a cell phone talking to Aunt Patty about his anal warts. Oh, the stuff that people will talk about on their cell phones in public, like nobody else is there. And this jackass has his Bluetooth in, he's talking in a voice loud enough to be heard out on the ramp while a 747 is spooling up for takeoff. I'm dying for a fucking cigarette, right? I'm totally stressed out at this point, and you can't smoke anywhere near an airport these days. I was in Philadelphia, and apparently you have to take a cab to Newark, Delaware for a fucking smoke nowadays. So I finally get on the plane, right? And I squeeze myself into this tiny little seat that would make Ashley Olsen suck it in. And I just want to relax with the Sky Mall magazine and wait on the snack service. Now, snack service is probably kind of a broad term for an ice cube dipped in Diet Coke and 2 pretzels sealed in a bag that David Blaine couldn't get out of. But these days with air travel, you take what you can get, right? So as I'm reaching for my $10 bottle of water that I bought from the newsstand, the water starts to ripple like that scene in Jurassic Park. And I look over the seats, and there is that guy. He's 400 or 500 pounds easy. Got a second stomach sticking out under his belt. Sweat's pouring off of him from hauling his fat ass up the jetway. 3 flight attendants and the co-pilot are trying to shove this whale down the aisle. They got the freaking beverage cart behind him, ramming him in the ass. And he's looking right at me. I can't get out of my seat to let him in because the old geezer behind me's on oxygen, and he's got the aisle blocked trying to hook his hoses up. This guy's ass passes in front of my face. I swear to God, my life started playing in a movie as he's crushing me into the seat. He finally gets wedged in there. And that guy always wants to talk. I'm trapped at 30,000 feet being crushed half to death with Chatty McFatty, right? I've got a solution for that. I've got these little tiny earphones that are awesome. They cost like $700. They're custom molded to my ears. Can't even tell I have them in, and they cancel out all the background noise. I'm just trying to relax, listen to a little opera, some beautiful Puccini, calm my nerves down. Pavarotti is singing Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. And all I can hear in my head, because I'm so freaked out, is giant fast, nasty, sweaty, fat ass. I want to stab him with my pen. I want to stab him in the throat so he'll shut the fuck up. 2 hours later, we finally land in Chicago. Fat ass is still yammering away. And I snap. I have just had enough. I am wicked stressed out. I'm drenched half in sweat. My suit for the meeting I was going to is ruined. And I'm like, I gotta do something about this. So I wait till all the passengers in front of me have gotten off the plane. And I've got a clear escape route up the aisle. I pop my headphones out, pick my book up out of the front and stand up. I turn to them. By the way, I've got swine flu. Thank you very much.
David Roach, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him.